In this short session, we are going to look at another common chart that's used in the business world in describing data, and this is a chart called a time series plot. The time series plot is used when we're interested in looking at the manner in which a certain variable changes over time. You'll recall our discussion of cross-sectional data versus time series data. Well, time series data are variables that are measured at regular intervals of time, and we're interested in seeing how this particular value or measurement or observation changes over time. And this will often be used in order to forecast future values. We want to look at how things have behaved in the past and see if we can use that information to give us some insight as to what might happen next. And here is where a time series plot can be very useful for taking a look visually at the past performance of certain numerical values. The chart itself is similar to a scatter plot in that we're really interested in looking at the relationship between two variables. One variable, the actual variable we want to measure or analyze. The second variable, however, is time. We want to know the relationship between our variable of interest and time. And what we do in a time series plot is that we put time on the horizontal axis and our time series variable on the vertical axis. And it is actually possible to plot more than one time series variable on a time series plot versus the same intervals or the same period of time. That's an option that you have as well. The difference between a time series plot and a scatter plot when we visually look at it is that by convention we usually connect the dots, if you will. We draw lines in between the consecutive points to help make the trends, make the patterns a little bit more apparent. So in reality, this is more of a line chart than a scatter chart, to use the terminology of Excel. A time series chart is a very useful chart when we want to visualize the way in which a particular variable has changed over time. We might look for trends, we might look for seasonal changes. These are different aspects of the features that we may observe in time series data. And when we generate a time series plot, it's very much like a scatter plot where we put time on the x-axis and our variable of interest on the y-axis. And we can generate one of these in Excel once we have our columns of data, one including the some time variable to the left, and then our other variable of interest, one or more, to the right. We can select those two columns. In this case, we only have two. We can go to Insert, and a scatter plot is the easiest way to actually generate this, because among our choices under scatter plot, we have what's called a straight lines with markers. And we can click on that, and it automatically will generate a nice time series chart. Unlike a typical scatter plot, we, by convention, use straight lines connecting one point to the next point. And again, by convention also, we have our time variable on our x-axis. Once again, we can format this chart in a variety of ways. We can remove the legend, we can label the axes, change our title, remove our grid lines, any of the various ways that we can format charts in Excel.